Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Math. Today is a very special day. Today is Sandra O'Day O'Connor's Day. You might ask yourself, who is Sandra O'Connor? She is the first woman that was in the Supreme Court back when women couldn't really get rights. She was the first woman in there, so it's a really big thing. Also, she helped out Arizona a lot, especially with citizenship. She did an organization to help out people with citizenship and about civics. Anyways, if you want more information about her, just search her up. Look at Mr. Whitewash, Mr. Finn's videos. In our class, let's get started with the math. On the last few classes, we've been dealing with matrices. We are still dealing with matrices on this video. The only difference between the last class or the previous classes and today's is today's concept is called identity and inverse matrices. Okay, so identity, then TT, and inverse matrices. Okay, that is the title of today's concept. Okay, identity and inverse matrices. All we're doing today is we're solving a set of matrices. Okay, we're gonna solve them the way we multiply matrices. We're solving them the way we multiply matrices. But the only difference between last class and this class, obviously I'm not going to make it a 3x3 or 4x4. It's going to be a just simple 2x2. But this time you not only have to solve for one, but you have to flip it to make sure that the inverse works as well. Okay? So we're used to seeing a variable that says matrix is A. Okay? A1. Okay? Because normally a variable has a little exponent of 1 when there's no number. Also equals a negative 1. Meaning that if a matrix works, it inverse should work as well. Meaning we flip it to make it positive. That is the rule for a negative. You flip it to make it positive. Okay? That's what we're going to deal with today. Make sure you write this down in your notes. Make sure that you put them in there. Let's get started on the concept. Alright guys, so the matrices for today is 3, 4, 2, negative 6. Okay? And the other matrices is 3, 2, negative 4, negative 3. All we have to do is we have to solve them, okay? In order to solve them, we're going to multiply them. Remember, always label it, okay? We have A. Do another color here. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. If you guys remember, the rule is we multiply the first one times the first one on the other quadrant or on the other matrices. We have 3 times 3. So let's do a really big matrices, okay? We have 3 times 3, okay? We did the first one with the first one. Now we're going to do the second one, RB, with our negative 4. Okay, do you guys remember on the concept 10 when we multiply matrices? This is why we did concept 10 in 2 parts. You guys can make it a lot easier for you guys to understand. So again, we got 3 times 3, 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8, right? So let me write it out. Let's write it out. 2 times negative 4. Now we're going to do the other quadrant here. If you guys remember, for the other quadrant, Let's use blue. No, let's just red. If you guys remember, we are keeping the same row over here. So we have 3, but this time we're going to do it with the other column. So we have 3 times 2, 3 times 2, 2 times negative 3. So notice that I did minus on both of them, which technically it should be positive because we still don't know that 2 was positive. I skipped ahead. I remember I had a negative 8. The same here, we have positive 2, negative 3. Okay? Now we're going to do the bottom one. We have 4 times 3, negative 6, and negative 4. Negative 6, negative 4. Remember, pattern 3, 3, 4, negative 4. Okay? So what's the pattern over here? We keep the same row times the column. So we can say that we have 4 times 2, and then we have negative 6 times negative 3. Okay? Now that we have it all together, we can start combining like terms. Okay? We can start solving. So we have 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 8, right? Because 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. So 9 minus 8 is 1. So we know that the final one is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus, because remember, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. 4 times 3 is 12. Positive, right? 6 times 4 is 24. So 12 times 24 is 36. 4 times 2 is 8. They're both negatives, the 6 and the 3. So positive 18. So 18 plus 8, 26. So now that we have those numbers, 1, 0, 36, 26, we're going to flip it, okay? Make sure it works out again. The way we're going to flip it is, this time we're going to start off with this matrices and then this matrices. Make sure you have everything written down. I'm going to erase it, okay? Or you know what? I'm not going to erase it. I'm just going to leave it up there. Make sure you pause the video if you need to. I'll just write it on this other board on the side. So let's turn it over here. All right, guys. So remember, we have the second matrices first. So the second matrices was 3, 2, negative 4, negative 3. And then the second matrices, now it's 3, 2, 4, negative 6. We're going to do the same thing again. The goal is to arrive at the same answers we did on the first one. If we arrive at the same answers, then yes, they're both inverse of each other. If not, the answer is no. Okay? Again, we have 3 times 3. I'm going to skip that extra step. It's just 9. 2 times 4 plus 8. Notice that by just looking at it, if you look at here, this first part, notice that your answer is already different because you got 9 plus 8, which is 17, right? So by just starting it, you already know that it's not going to work. You really don't have to go any further because you already know it's not going to work. I did this on purpose for the same reason, so I can show you one that doesn't work. Because the ones I'm going to give you, obviously one is going to work, one's not going to work. I want you to see the hard part instead of the easy part, instead of one that works out. make sure that as soon as you start seeing that the pattern is not going to work, you don't really have to solve for the rest of it because technically you already know it's not going to work. If it does work, then continue solving it. Okay? But for the purpose of today's video, notice that mine did not work. I wanted you guys to see that because I know some of you might be like, whoa, Mr. Rivera, on the video, the one that you did worked and the one that you gave us doesn't work. This is why I did this one, okay? Again, if it doesn't work, as soon as you start seeing that it's not going to work, stop there and just, you already know it's not going to work and say it's not going to work, okay? So here's your assignment for today. Alright guys, I have two problems on the board. Here's the first one. We have 2, 3, 5, negative 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2. Okay, that's one. And then your second one, we have 4, 5, 3, 4, 4, negative 5, negative 3, and 4. Okay, there's two problems here. So there's one here, one here. Make sure you solve for both ways. Remember, solve for it and then flip it. Make sure it works out. If not, then it doesn't work. If it does, it is a function, okay, of each other, of their inverses of each other. So make sure you send me your answers as soon as you're done watching the video, and I'll be waiting for your email.